That morning, the air on the set was so fresh. Sunlight penetrates between the trees, illuminating the drama set built to resemble an ancient palace. The crew is busy with their respective tasks. Some set the lights, some prepare costumes, some set the camera. In between the hustle and bustle, two young star figures were sitting in the corner of the room while holding the script. Zhao Jinmai with a serious face, and Zhang Linghe who looked more relaxed but occasionally stole glances at his colleague. This part of the monologue is very long. Have you memorized? Asked Linghe as he opened the script. Jinmai nodded. It is, but it is still difficult to keep the expression. A monologue like this needs strong emotions. Linghe looked at him fixedly. I'm sure you can. You can always make simple words feel alive. The compliment made Jinmai smile a little, although trying to cover the embarrassment by pretending to be busy reading again. He didn't realize. His gaze was already filled with awe every time Linghe uttered a simple sentence. The day seemed ordinary, but there was something he didn't know yet, a secret that would shock him, revealed in the midst of memorizing the narrative. Serious training. The director asked them to rehearse longer than usual. The scene this time is very important. The heroine has to say an emotional monologue about parting, while the male character watches from afar with a gaze full of pain. In the rehearsal room, Jinmai stood with the script in hand, reading with great appreciation. His voice trembled in parts, his eyes glazed over. The crew who saw even fell silent, getting carried away. But when it was his turn, Linghe didn't just read. He looked at Jinmai deeply, as if every word in the script was a real feeling. If one day I can no longer be by your side, Linghe said in a deep voice, I hope you know, my whole life is just to protect you. Jinmai gasped. It wasn't because the words of the script were foreign, but because the way Linghe pronounced them was so sincere, as if the sentence was born from his own heart, not just memorization. Instantly, the training atmosphere became different. Everyone feels intense emotional energy, hidden secret words. After several repeats, Linghe suddenly missed the script. He recited a line of sentences in a serious tone, but at the end, he added something unwritten. And if this is all just a dream, I hope you never wake up. Because being with you is the only reality I want to live, Jinmai. The room was suddenly quiet. Jinmai froze, his eyes widening. He turned to Linghe, making sure he hadn't misheard. The crew looked at each other, confused as to whether it was part of the script or improvisation. Cut first, exclaimed the director, trying to break the ice. Good improvisation, Linghe. But do not forget to return to the original text. Jinmai was still silent. He knew it wasn't in the script. His heart was pounding, as if he had just heard a hidden confession. Disguised feelings. After a break, Jinmai approached Linghe. Just now, you added that sentence on purpose? Ask carefully. Linghe looked at him for a while, then smiled faintly. Improvisation. To feel more real. Jinmai swallowed. The words were simple, but the way he stared made him feel there was another meaning. It was as if Linghe was really talking to him, not a character in the drama. Throughout the day, Jinmai could not fully concentrate. Every time he remembered that phrase, his face lit up. He tried to divert by joking with the other crew, but the shadow of Linghe's gaze always returned. Crew hoopla. It didn't take long for the crew to start gossiping. Did you hear that, Linghe's extra sentence? Whispered one of the staff. Oh my God, that's so sweet. I'm sure he doesn't speak for the character, but for Jinmai. The news quickly spread. Some even had time to record their workouts with a mobile phone. The little snippet of the video finally made it to the fan forum. Fans immediately excited. It's not a script. He did it on purpose, didn't he? Then, does that mean Linghe really likes Jinmai? Their chemistry is so real, I can't stand it. Although it has not yet become big news, a small spark has already begun to smolder. Surprise in front of everyone. The next day, they had to redo the scene. This time in the presence of many people, including producers. Jinmai was nervous, afraid Linghe would repeat the improvisation. But what happened was more surprising. When he reached the monologue section, Linghe again said the additional sentence with great appreciation. "Because being with you is the only reality I want to live, Jinmai." This time, he looked at Jinmai with sparkling eyes, full of flavor. The whole room was silent, including the director. Everyone can feel overflowing emotions. Jinmai was almost at a loss for words. Her tears were dripping, and her hands were shaking. He knew it wasn't just improvisation. It was a real feeling, expressed in front of everyone. Secret talks. Later that night, Jinmai looked for an opportunity to talk to both of them. They sat on a wooden bench near the set, accompanied by the light of dim lights. "Why did you do that?" "Twice." "Linghe, it's not a script." Linghe lowered his head, then looked at him seriously. "Because I don't want to keep hiding. I want you to know, Jinmai. What I feel is real." Jinmai fell silent, his chest rumbling. He didn't know what to answer. "I know this may not be the right time," Linghe continued, "but I can no longer hide it. Every time I say that dialogue, I feel like I'm talking to you. Not on character. Shock, yet also warm." That's what Jim felt that night. The struggle to hide. From that night on, Jinmai began to change. He became more cautious, afraid that his expression would look strange in front of the crew. But the more he tries to hide, the more real their chemistry becomes. Linghe remained professional, but his every look and little smile sent a message that was hard to ignore. Fans who watched the filming footage were even more convinced. They can't hide their feelings. Look at the way they look at each other. Inevitable gossip. Linghe's improvised video finally leaked to the media. Splashy titles began to appear. Zhang Linghe revealed something that shocked Zhao Jinmai on the set. Zhang Linghe's secret sentence made fans excited. Covert love? Jinmai frantically read the news. He feared his career would be disrupted. Linghe, however, calmed him down. "Let people speculate. The important thing is that we know what the truth is. Feelings that can no longer be hidden." Filming was over. The drama is over, but the feelings that grow between them are not over. In the closing press conference, a reporter boldly asked, "Linghe, in some scenes you are seen adding sentences that are not in the script. Is it spontaneous, or is there a special meaning?" Linghe stared at Jinmai for a while, then replied with a meaningful smile. "Sometimes, there are things that can't be explained with just a script. It comes from the heart." Everyone fell silent. Jinmai lowered his head, his face reddened. He knew that the sentence was a confession that could no longer be refuted, and from that day on, the public believed. There was something deeper between Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai, something born from a small sentence that came out in the middle of memorizing the narrative. Something real. Something they can no longer hide.